Welcome to Fast Five, where our four panelists weigh in on 5 separate topics. Let's first talk about Hulk Hogan and Gawker Media Group. Hulk Hogan filed a suit against Gawker Media Group, sent them into bankruptcy, and he's looking to settle. Jim, what say you?
It's a $140 million lawsuit. Incredible. Hulk Hogan's at it again. When will this stop with his lawsuit? So, I really don't have much say on him because I just look the other way when I hear Hulk Hogan and this whole thing.
Ron, people that are in the public view don't they have to understand that they're going to be scrutinized and there's going to be, look at the National Enquirer. They've made a living for how many years putting outrageous stories in play.
I used to think he was a good athlete. I used to have a lot of respect for him. And then to hear and see some of the things that he did, totally lost respect for the man. And to drag this out, drag it through the courts, what was it, a minute video that he did? What do you think when he was taking that video was going to happen? That nobody was going to use it somewhere? Mm-hmm. Why did he allow it to happen? Why was he involved in when it happened? And it was to a good friend of his, I think it was, with a friend's wife, and then what happens? He messes his whole career up. He had the problem with his kids, with his wife, and over the years, and it's time for Hulk Hogan to leave the stage and stay off the stage.
Yes, and vanish.
Well, we can say that about Hulk Hogan, but there's other people we might feel the same way about.
You got any in mind?
I'll be nice to you, Ron. Okay, but what he always, during his wrestling career, tried to use himself as an example.
He's a prop.
Okay. And now look what he's done. What example is he setting?
He's an example, all right.
Okay, he's setting an example of what you don't want to be when you grow up.
Yeah.
Okay. Foolish, callous mistakes that he's done. Mm-hmm. Okay. And now it's, Gawker, yes. Did they do something wrong? Yeah, they were found guilty in the court. $140 million, was that $140 million worth of wrong? I don't think so. But, Hulk Hogan, as everyone said, I've lost a lot of respect for what he's done, and the role model that he had set. I think he washed away all of us.
Okay, Alex Rodriguez, a.k.a. A-Rod, will play his final Major League game next Friday night.
It's going to be like Cal Ripken. I don't know if it'd be that top, but A-Rod is one good ball player. Yeah.
He is third in home runs with 696, trailing only Barry Bonds. I'm sorry, fourth. Barry Bonds at 762, Hank Aaron at 755, and Babe Ruth at 714. So
he's trailing the juicer and a couple quality athletes. I would love, I know he's only hit, I think it's 14 home runs as of the filming tonight. Mm-hmm. I would love to see some quality things occur. Like Cal Ripken, when he knocked a home run in his last game. Whether that was deliberate or it was actually the skill on Cal Ripken's part, I'd like to see him go out. I'd love to see him hit, get up to 700. That's asking a lot. 4 home runs for someone who's batting slightly above 200. But get him in the lineup and send him off well, because he's been good for the sport of baseball.
He was a true Yankee.
Well, that's a negative, but anyway.
Well, I'm an Oriole fan, but he's been a true Yankee, and he stayed with the team, not being drafted.
He's dedicated to his franchise.
Okay, so the greatest, bestest, most amazing security for credit cards, the chip that now most of us have on our cards, is not as great as it was originally thought. That magnetic stripe that's still on the back of the cards can be reprogrammed by a hacker to say, hey, this card doesn't have a chip, it has a magnetic stripe. So
one of the things I think with the chip, that chip only lasts for a minute.
Yeah.
I think it goes in, it's for one transaction, and then it changes. And in that minute, they can capture a lot of information. There's a guy running a camera right now that probably could really tell you how that really works. But I've gone so many different places. Some people can take the chip, some people can't. And then there's a problem with it. And then you keep getting a new card. What happens when you get a new card? Everybody that uses that card, you got to go back and tell them, my numbers change, my year has changed, my the code, security codes changed. And if you don't, then you wind up with an overdraft. You wind up with a problem.
Yep.
So it seems like when they rolled it out, they should have been able to have it. I saw the two guys today that are trying to get it fixed by being the villains, so to speak. It's a very difficult situation.
Well, you know, with the chips, you know, my personal credit card, they sent me in the new one with the chip. I still haven't activated. I'm going to continue to use for the exact reason you stated. I have to go through and change everyone who accesses that card and processes things off that card. Well, I don't want to get hit with a bunch of late charges because I didn't update Antietam Cable with my, you know, credit card information.
Yep.
And I know Antietam Cable would never do that to me, but anyway, you know, but the more we advance in technology, the more potential and exposure that we have that someone can hack and crack into it, because we're relying more and more upon computers. If we can design it, someone else is smarter and can find a way to, you know, backdoor into it and hijack things off of it.
So our teachers' unions in Maryland are now suggesting that Larry Hogan is like Donald Trump, and that is based on the fact that on a Facebook post, he called them thugs, or he called some of them thugs. Ron, what say you?
It's probably not a good idea in any language if you're the head person, especially a governor, to call anybody a thug. I mean, I got a lot of respect for Larry Hogan, but that's going a little bit too far to call somebody a thug.
The specific quote was, "Don't believe this phony cut propaganda from the union thugs."
Yeah. I'm a union member, okay, and I take issue with being called a thug or a union person being called a thug. It's uncalled for.
Jim?
I agree. I'm a union member too with Volvo, and you know, I take issue with that as well. You got to watch what you say. You know, he's getting to be like Trumpism. So you got to be careful because all cameras on you, and you say something out of context, you better be ready.
Well, I think he put this in print. This was actually a Facebook post.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, if you say something the mic's not hot, then you know you can sometimes get caught. But he actually put this in black and white. I think I think sometimes officials can be bullish.
Yep.
Okay, I think calling them thugs is, you know, when you devolve into name calling, you just lower yourself to your opposition's level. So he could have came out with some things that would have been better.
It makes it harder to reconciliate and get to really where the solve things, because
Correct.
You're going in, you call me a thug. Well, you're going in, you're going to have that barrier up. It's going to be hard to break that and try to resolve those issues. So,
Maryland casinos. Well, Nevada casinos have been flat for a number of months. Maryland casinos, though, have reported their 8th straight month of gains. They're up 5% year over year for the last reporting month, $103.8 million in 1 month. Good thing or bad thing? Ron?
It's a good thing. I mean, but there's a lot of people missing some money that probably need it for something else. I'm not sure that gambling is a way to go to in a state. I'm a little hesitant on gambling, especially when you have in Baltimore. There are other issues in Baltimore, but if it's going back to where they say it's going, if it's going into education and different areas to help people in the state of Maryland, it's a good thing. I think the economy is far better than what people want to give credit for. When people say the country's going in the wrong direction, I'm wondering what's the wrong direction. The president's at 54%, Congress is at 12%. Who's in the wrong direction, the country or the Congress? In this particular instance, with where the economy is, with the jobs report and that type of thing, Maryland has really bounced back tremendously from the slump that they were in.
Henry?
It's good that we see revenue increase. It's a little, to me, it's a detriment that it's coming via gambling as a resource. I always personally felt that if you have funds that you are willing to part with, then gambling's certainly a viable option for you. But you know, some people are doing this and they're holding out their last hope.
Right.
But
how many people buy lottery tickets with their last dollar, knowing that they're going to be the ones that win the $1 million this week?
Yeah, well, I lost
it
last
never
week.
Happens.
So.
yeah.
Jim?
You know, the Baltimore Casino, the brand new one, took in $24 million last month.
Right. Almost
That's-
25.
That's incredible. I mean, if you look at Baltimore, how poor the city is, but they're still bringing in, I mean, all the casinos are doing well. Even the one out here at Rocky Gap are doing very, very well. So, but then again, you got pros and cons. You got people who gamble, brings money back into the state. Then you got people that will spend their entire paycheck before they feed their family.
Yeah.
But then again, you look at some legions, I won't go names, but one legion makes 10 grand a month just off gambling. I lobby it for the local club I belong to because we got to look at sources of revenue. So there's pros and cons. You know, the cons is you can get addicted to gambling. I've seen people play tip jars $200-300 and drop it, I'm thinking, and not win their money back.
But if they have the money to dispose of, they're free to do so. But a lot of the people in our community don't have the money to part with.
And that's the problem, and you're going to get the last word on that. Stay tuned. We're back in 3 minutes. Last call is next.